Hello, it's Melinda, MJ, and I have a tarot reading for Twin Flames. It's called 1111. With this tarot reading, you will win their heart forever. Summer 2020, a tale of twin flames, a true love story about you. Okay, so I had a bright idea. It was given to me in meditation this morning, and I realized that in the major arcana there are 22 cards. And as I was coming out of my meditative state of trance, I pictured the 22 cards separated, 11 for one twin, 11 for the other. And this really does make a lot of sense, because twin flames are always linked in sharing a fluidity of movement of the masculine and feminine principles between each other in the most beautiful way. And this adds the most amazing depth to the story of our twins, in that each twin is represented by both, mirroring the other half of their soul and feeling their feelings simultaneously, as the two are one and the same. And they do, together, possess each and every one of the major characteristics that make up a whole. So enjoy. Okay. Okay, so we start out the reading for the first twin with the Fool card. This is card number 0, and a perfect card to represent the past, for we are all born into this life with an open mind and a blank slate. Right here for twin number 1, I felt a strong connection to the beginning of these two twin flames' journey together. And I sensed that both of them went through something traumatic, individually, in their own lives. The two found each other when they were both embarking on a journey into the unknown. Their molded image of themselves had been drastically taken away from them, and each of them processed this loss of someone or someones they loved and lost. Here the twins were activated from the pain, from the depths of despair, and the universe had heard their prayers and felt their longing. This card expresses an innocent nature that doesn't allow everyday situations to affect them, and this situation comes about after an individual knows what it feels like to really hurt deep in their soul. And as I was pulling the cards, this is what I felt. This twin, or both twins for that matter, may have lost a family member or family members, maybe a parent or parents. The universe responded by leading them where they needed to be, to meet up with each other. And even though these two knew nothing about twin flames, or that they were going to be connected to each other through eternity and beyond, and even though they couldn't remember yet when they met that they hadn't known each other forever, eternally, there was cosmic work at play here that drew them together in order to remind their souls how there is a closeness with others as well, not just with our family members we have known here on earth in this life. By getting the Fool card here, it shows me how this union happened in order to propel these two forward and progress their ascension. I think they cried out and offered themselves to work for the good of all, back when they lost their loved ones. And they did this innocently, because they just didn't want anyone else to have to suffer as badly as they were hurting or had hurt. With this energy here, they were able to tap into the messages the universe was sending them. And the two met and were exposed to feeling their same vibrational frequency of energy in each other. These twins have been in separation since back then, and each one of them has experienced extreme spiritual growth and personal evolution alone without the other. Let's consider this first card as an introduction card. From here on out through this reading, I'm going to pick up the pace and get on with the messages being given to me. Now that we know more about each other, let's get started. I'm so excited because this information has been channeled through me to help you. I am so grateful and thankful for the love story I am about to share with you about you and your twin. Okay, card number 2 is their meeting. Twin number 1 meeting twin number 2, the Empress. This represents the female principles, and I can just feel how much meeting this person was able to provide nurturing and guidance to the other twin. The Empress is the ultimate mother figure, and she feels like it feels when we are out in nature, So from this card, we can tell that the first twin is a child of nature, and this is where they feel the most comfortable, in and around nature with her. They have a strong connection with Gaia, Mother Earth. Now, when they met their twin, they were amazed at the abundance of her gifts. She had it all, material, physical, and spiritual. She was wise beyond her years, and she loved sharing her own thoughts and how she had experienced the joys of her life. But she also loved sharing how she had worked through the traumatic experiences as well. And she had a way with words that made her easy to feel and understand. She is an empath by and by. And she was sharing love and healing her twin counterpart, even though the twins were distancing themselves from each other and had never been able to communicate with human communication methods very well. And so when each of those twins was going through their life and feeling so lonely and longing to be accepted and loved and cared for, they began to open up their third eye and communicate telepathically. And since that day, they have been mirroring each other's lives, and they communicate spiritually, probably most of the time, if not all of the time now. And that's where it gets beautiful, because neither one of them has ever really been alone since that first meeting. They have always had each other since then, even if their thinking mind didn't really know it. And they have had spiritual, universal, and cosmic forces with them at all times since then, trying to help them learn and evolve. And these forces were working through them both, in each of their different environments and minds. These two are powerful, and I mean strong. They have significant purposes. And since the day Twin One met his Empress, they have been rapidly working through some of the most extreme faults of the human condition, because the universe needs these two to work for it, or through it, whether they are together or not, close or distant. It kept propelling them forward, because these two could handle it in a way that most people wouldn't have been able to. Let's see. Presently, for Twin One, the Chariot is what I pulled as the main card to watch over the 4 cards shining light on this moment in time for Twin number 1. So her energy is going to work consecutively with the other 4 cards, and they ended up being the Moon, the Hierophant, the Emperor, and the Hanged Man. So here's what all of these mean together. The Chariot represents your path moving forward with a firm and steady hand. Where you were once wild, and you still may struggle internally when you are choosing one thing over another and being pulled in different directions, you now have a goal, and that goal is reuniting with your twin. But you bicker with yourself and question whether your intentions are right. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. See these 2 horses? You are not only arguing with yourself in your own mind, you are intuitively connected with your flame. And so when you are bringing up these questions and rationalizing why you need to keep doing what you are doing, it's her, your flame, being represented by the Chariot in your here and now daily existence. And so even though you might not be talking to her with words per se, you guys are both having the same thoughts and trying to figure out how you could be together, and if that would even really work for you right now, or be something that you even want right now. And because you are still in separation, your spiritual guides are working in overtime and sending all different kinds of signs and assistance. They sense why you are holding back each time you think about this, and it's helping them tap into the inner work you must complete in order to serve and live your life purpose in this lifetime. And that's why it's so great for them that you are open and using your third eye to communicate with your twin, because they can use this to help you help yourself more than if you hadn't come into alignment with your twin flame and opened up your intuition to be able to realize their presence around and within you. I will bet that both flames in this infinite union find themselves amazed at the synchronicities they are noticing around them in their lives. I honestly think that both of these individuals have a very strong connection with nature and animals too, plus numbers and even the clouds, etc. Art and music are giving you clues, and with the Charioteer being the card to look over and guide the cards in this present section, despite difficulties, You are being driven forward, and although you might be trying to control your life path with your mind, this card shows you will give in and come together during this lifetime and work together to help save and heal the planet. Because when they say do your part with twin flames, they eventually figure out that it's their part together, and you can eliminate the word your. And since there's some hesitation going on, you need to understand that you can keep your life and live where you want to live, etc. Sorry. Just by accepting and staying in union without fighting it, your souls can work as one, powerfully. Jeez, I can't see my thing. Even if you two are not together in the conclusive or exclusive sense, and that is probably the very thing that's keeping you two separate right now anyways. This is how I was feeling. You. All right. Next we have the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is saying twin one is choosing to continue to bear the pain. He is making the sacrifice by choice. There are some things from his past that he cannot move on from or let go of, and he's sort of in a repetitive cycle of repenting for the wrongdoings of his past, or the wrongdoings done to him that he is working on coming to terms with or fixing. If that's the case, he needs to stop trying, because these backward steps are for him only, and the other party involved isn't going to come around ever. But this time is not in vain, and it's not being wasted. It's just giving you a chance to recalculate, and eventually you will decide to quit being a glutton for punishing yourself, because if it's not right, it's not right. But you are progressing forward at the pace you need to be currently. And then the Emperor shows that for twin one, structure and rules are how you foster your kingdom. And I think you may serve others the knowledge that's missing in some way, to exert a type of control and reign over them. I'm going to go ahead and say here that this person may be very sarcastic and even rude at times to get his viewpoints heard, and it's pretty important to him that others understand and actually agree with him. The Emperor shows a discipline and honor, and this could somehow go back to the feeling of family loss in the past. This person's family lost their king, and twin one feels like it's his duty to maintain that mindset for his family's namesake. It's a very rational type of thinker who believes he is doing what he does for the good of others. Only where the Empress, his counterpart, creates happiness, this Emperor can sometimes create, but extra drama that isn't as helpful for the others as he thinks, because they cannot handle the confrontation as well as he can. Next we have the Hierophant, who is knowledgeable about the old ways of thinking, and so he struggles with change until he's really done his research. It's hard for him to break away from the way things used to be, because he needs to be sure that it wouldn't decay the legacy that is who he is and where he came from. So he's just overly cautious, and this isn't a bad thing. He just cherishes the ancient truths and wants to make others proud by showing that he stayed on the tried and true path and followed the traditions and upheld the morals instilled in him in his childhood. But this card definitely denotes studying new and different things and testing out whether or not it would be acceptable to incorporate them into his life. The Moon card means that with all this studying going on and in this world full of vast information and ideas that are available to us these days, this person is having trouble distinguishing whether the new information they are learning can even be true and real or not, because it's different than what he's been told his whole life. And I will agree that some of the information does seem truly far out, but I'll be the first one to tell you that it is real. And if you have questions about any of the new info or want to discuss it, or for me to explain anything, get a hold of me. I can fill you in. In 2020, the illusions are the reality, but to an old school thinker, they might consider them to be tricks. This Moon card reminds us of the two faces within, one dark, one light. It tells us to release the boundaries of our unconscious mind. It could be referring to blockages with the chakras too. Your intuition might seem scary, but it's actually your shadows and fears that are the scary things. And each time you realize this, it brings the stuff out for you to work on and unblock. It brings it to light. And as you clear it and heal yourself, you heal the planet, Earth, too. That's our purpose, so thank you for all of the work you are doing. To end it off, the first twins portion and their 11 cards, I felt compelled to lay them in an upward direction, and this kind of reminded me of climbing upstairs. I was really feeling that after the way the cards fell in this now section, that it was going to go in the direction of finding and then coming to terms with and then ascending spiritually. And I feel completely like this still belongs here as part of the now section. Almost like the second half of this turns into growth, and the cards that fell out as I was shuffling were the Hermit, Star, and the Lover. I'm setting them here so you guys can actually see them. So when I laid them down, they were slanted, but that won't look that way here. But the Hermit does illuminate ascension. And it shows that twin one is lonely and trying to seek what he needs to overcome this dark night of the soul from within. And solitude is where we go to listen to and hear our thoughts, hear the thoughts of our inner voice. Occasionally in life, we have to wander away and disconnect from the needs of others. And here, I was being led towards this person may like just looking at the night sky. Like maybe they have a memory of doing this with someone they loved, or even while they were talking to their flame. I feel that pull from the northern star here. And me personally, I feel at home with myself under the low light of the moon. There's something comforting about being sort of hidden. I'm very fond of sunlight, but there are times when I prefer the night sky. And when I was working through some of the tough stuff as I was growing up, laying on the ground in the cool evening was extremely cleansing and soothing to me. I found the guidance within myself that I needed, and as I gazed up into the sky in all of the vast beauty before me. It was able to put me into a state of relaxation, almost like being hypnotized. And in this state, I may have been open to universal or spiritual advice and lessons too. This is the feeling that this card brought me today when I pulled it, and it ended up being very fitting to fall right here as the cards or stairs began to travel upward. And this next card, being the Star, also talks about a solo mission, and it's another night sky card. The meaning I feel that relates to twin one here is saying the nighttime is when your messages are coming through to you. This card is really about getting where we need to be, and I think you two flames are together at night, almost even cradled in each other's arms. One soul, intermingling while you are in those deep sleep states, and you cannot block the connection like you do when it frightens you during waking hours. At night, your souls are one, and this could also be because the two of you use substances that relax your guards. I do feel like they also open you up to bigger thoughts and let in the cosmic downloads and information that is going to take you where you need to be, where you can help the most. It is in the night where you are making the most forward progress together as one. Your souls can find the pathways to each other wherever you are on this planet. And when you are laying down in resting mode, they soar to each other and they mingle their energy, and you guys become in sync. You are blessed, the two of you, from the royal background, the source. And when you came into this life, it wasn't set up for you to find each other. Not at your birth. Like, you didn't even agree to that, but let me tell you that you two were so drawn to each other that no amount of interference from the higher realms could keep you guys apart. I know that you were supposed to have separate missions this time to learn your own lessons before you came home, but by finding each other against all odds, I promise you that you are impressing the gods. You are blowing them away. This began as you working apart without a connection, and they just felt the love and pure feelings from the two of you. And they may have even had to ask the council to change your course because they saw what you two could be capable of together. You are exactly perfect for each other, and this is one of the strongest messages I have ever been given from the higher realms. Somehow you remembered each other from past lives, from the beginning, in fact, and with this changing world making giant leaps and bounds, they had to fast track you two into finding each other again in this life. And the Maker loves the two of you so much that he said yes. He is directly connected to you two somehow, flesh and blood. I feel a strong presence with many spiritual leaders here, the Trinity. I'm not sure how that Trinity fits for your twin flame relationship, but it was really important to me to mention that here with the star. Okay. Card number 10 for flame 1 is the Lovers, and that's so romantic because in this deck, this is one of the twin flame union cards, United. Feels so good. Union is also listed in the description twice, so split that up on each side with United as the result. It feels good for me inside right now to just even see this card in placement here. Union is also one of the all caps keywords highlighted at the top of the overall card meaning in this deck. I need to tell Twin Flame 1 to depend on nature to expand. Quit fighting it, Twin 1, because you are getting together with the other half of your soul. It is meant to be now. The two of you complete each other. At times in life, we are better off in order to grow more apart. But the two of you went against the set heart's desire, soul urge number, and you earned a reunion. It's coming. I cannot tell you specifics. That's for you to figure out. But it has to do with what's coming next, after this lifetime. This connection is eternal, the real deal, and the two of you have been apart long enough, maybe even many lifetimes. Don't despair is the message I got on this card for Twin Flame number 1 of this Twin Flame union. The 11th card is Justice, which is card number 11. And this is for the first half of this Twin Flame connection, Twin 1. Justice means karma, and that really makes so much sense here. This lifetime was to sort out karmic debt, and I'm getting family ties to that. It wasn't about your past lives. I get a vibe here that at the end of several of your lives together, you two were pissed at each other or something like that, and because of the bad karma, neither of you guys had any interest in meeting up here in this life. So the powers that be easily allowed you to come back here to the planet Earth this time, and even though they were slightly afraid that this might happen, that they couldn't keep you guys apart because they don't care if you have royal roots in the cosmic spectrum, you caught their gaze. You forced them to see the truth, and they changed the plans. All actions have consequences, and they didn't expect you two to make such a big deal or difference, contribution. I honestly kept hearing that you two came here on probation, like maybe even again from several lifetimes ago, and somehow you have wooed them, and they have altered your sentencing from the galactic courts. You showed them, somehow. And things are so much different than they even expected. Yay! Now you get to enjoy each other. A union is coming for the two of you, and it's going to be calm and loving and productive. You will have a family together, and you will experience everything you have ever wanted together as one in love. What you thought you could find, which is the family connection, you can only get through and with each other. Sometimes our evolution amazes even the highest court, and you two were able to do this. This is true love. You are from the source in a very profound way. Twin flame number 1 in this union, this is a connection that was meant to be against all odds in the most beautiful way. It's just happening sooner than they expected it to. Stop fighting it and let this happen was a message of super importance to me that I was getting while I was openly communicating, and I have so much love for you. That's what I got in regards to one half of this twin flame union, and of course it directly relates to the other half as well. And I'm super excited to get into the next half's message and share what their 11 cards brought. I connected much more with this side, the second side, and I cannot wait to tell you about it. It's my side of the story. And yours too, if you are on this side, in your union, sorry. It's here. All right. I'm gonna drink real quick here. My tea. Okay, for twin flame number 2, the first card is the Wheel of Fortune. So this twin is going through some changes, only there's more to come. There are greater forces at work here, the ones that govern luck and fate. Getting the Wheel of Fortune in a reading is experiencing a change of season personally. And seasons are a big deal because we only get 4 major seasons in our lifetime, even though they tend to be somewhat linked. It circles back around to the beginning or something like that. I know this from my work in the medical field and what I learned from people just before they died from their human form. And these ones they went like this and then back down. So the second card would be going up if I had them laid out. The Devil card is leading up to a tower moment. For twin flame number 2, see this here? It ended up like that, so, and then the other ones come back down. The tower in tarot is the change. Whereas the Wheel of Fortune is a change that's not going to last. This Tower card is a change that's going to stick, and you'll never be the same afterwards. But here we have the Devil in between tempting you. And so for the second twin, they keep playing around. They're weak and keep letting earthly pleasures get in their way and stall them from the bigger picture and what they really seek. Life is throwing them excess right into their lap, and they have trouble saying no. But it is destroying the very foundations they have worked really hard to stand on. Each time they give in to the urge to hang on to a pride they thought they had earned, it hits their ego, and total upheaval keeps resulting for them. Their core is being challenged, and it's exposing the fragile structure within. This person is very ambitious, but it's as if they are working for nothing because they push themselves to impossible heights. And in this case, it shows they don't have control over their life. On the way back down from the climax, oops, sorry. Put that right here. I'm using my guitar. Got a little stand. Okay. On the way back down from the climax of Twin 2's now tower moment, the Death card is what came out. This is the end of that cycle. Death in tarot is a moment of transitioning between one world and the next. And in my tarot world, I have no fear when the Death card is near. It is a positive sign that here twin number 2 is worthy of being pushed to another extreme in life because they are ready to rid themselves of some serious baggage that they've been carrying around for years. Whatever it is that they are ending here has not been serving them in the least, and it's been dragging them down for most of their life, even though it's probably been showing up through different people or circumstances throughout the course of their existence. And I know for sure that whatever this is, it's directly related to the Devil card over here. But to fully end this cycle, twin flame number 2, excuse me, gets the World. This one. And this was speaking volumes to me when I pulled the card, because this is another one of those unity cards, which to me represent full-on twin flame union. Unity, personified, wholeness, inside and out. But this World card is extra special because it means self plus other becoming a single unit. This card is also the card of enlightenment, and when it comes to this twin flame stuff, neither one of them can be fully enlightened without the other. Together, they are part of the flow. Then and only then can they reach nirvana. They are eternally linked, and throughout the course of time, if one falls, the other rises up to heal them. And then when the other rises, the other one sacrifices something within themselves to hold that one up, the other up, until forever, always changing on a constant basis. It's an interesting progression for the next 3 cards, 2 as well. It starts out on one side with strength. Strength is such a special card to me. She's entitling how I exist in this world. Instead of using intimidation to get her way with force, she leads by example. And even though, from my experience, her radiant self-confidence is usually crushed, she is still able to stay very sure of herself. She trusts in herself and the natural forces that rule all, and somehow has an understanding with the powers that be. This is another union card. She is brave and has compassion and inner strength as much as we can in this harsh, cruel world. And she will not waver. At no point in her life has she or will she ever be okay with that which is not righteous or good. And good. Her parents raised her right. And if she ever partook in anything that didn't meet her code of ethics and morale, she was fighting it or avoiding it tooth and nail the whole way. And there were many times in her life where she had trouble even discussing certain topics with people because it was hard for her to even fathom that it was possible for people to live that way. And this is what gave her her strength. And it's what she's been working hard on to overcome all these years. Because she's not okay with holding judgment over any other people. My drink's almost gone. And she's very much a Buddhist who is present and very much a part of her surroundings. It was a tough job, but she had to do it. She learned how to destroy us and them, black and white thinking. And she was healing the world in this way all of these years. Okay, so in the middle, Twin 2 is being exposed as or by the High Priestess. And this brings us back around to some of the elemental forces at play in Twin 1's cards. She is a guardian, and she goes inward and allows her unconscious, or night reigns, to sway her actions. Your true self, the one you really love, is who she is beckoning you to find. What's hidden within you, and she shows you how to use your intuition to evolve into a deeper understanding with and of why you present yourself to the outside world the way you do. And then judgment, or here, is also making us face our honest self. Twin number 2 is absolutely on an inner journey, taking a closer, more critical look at her own actions. She realizes she has a higher calling, and life is requiring her to make some very difficult choices right now. There are parts of her that have been hindering her, and she's really struggling to leave them behind for lack of better options. This could fall into that substance stuff potentially. But it is necessary, and she will get there. She will overcome this stuff internally. Her reflections, though painful, have already helped her decide, and in fact, I don't feel like she ever really had much of a choice. It was decided for her or chosen by her during a near-death experience, and it was one of the clauses of her being able to return and perpetuate a life with her twin flame, to experience a few more torturous glitches at the hands of others or herself even before the union could take place forevermore. To complete this reading, we have these guys, the Magician, and they were sitting like this, so these two are touching, like on the ground. I could lay them out, but then you couldn't see them, so. Okay, so to complete this reading and show you how it all ends up for this twin union, we have the Magician on one side and the Sun on the other. Pure willpower, working with the giver of life, with the temperance card, which is the card of patience, connecting them in between. This one's the willpower, or giver of life, and this one's the willpower. The magician holds the power of all of the suits as well as all of the elements, and she uses her potential to mold her desires into being. She's a powerful creator. The sun has the vitality to share his joy and knowledge. His luck, success, and victory are being balanced by the temperance's understanding and life-learned ability to avoid extremes. When you combine the two's powerful forces to create with this clarity and understanding, the temperance, because of the temperance being in between, sort of like harboring the two, it brings calmness and tranquility to the two when the union finally does take place. These two together are able to bring their emotions to the surface and then release them using both their mind and heart. And I just realized temperance is coined as taking the middle path. And here she is in the middle, conscious and unconscious, a yin yang in balance. It's perfect here in the spot. Also, the magician speaks of mind and world mirroring each other, like flames often do. She has the inner strength to make her outer world and the outer world of others flow. The 11th and final card for twin number 2 is the sun, and its final message to us for twin number 2, and what I strongly feel is representative of these two flames in union and how they will end up balancing each other out, which is what I got from the first flames reading also, and is melting my heart and soul right now, is this. The light is on their side. And they have magic to do it. And once they find it, they can use it to create anything they want together and shine brighter than any of us could have ever imagined it was even possible for human beings to shine while they are here on this planet. Things are changing here and now on Earth, and these two twin flames are two of the most important contributors to broadening the possibilities for one for all. There you have it. Sorry if I talked too long or if I was too boring for some and got too gooey for others, but this right here is why I was born, and I'm not giving up. It's important to me, and I do it for you. You are my life purpose. As I was finishing this up, I caught the notifications for YouTube on my screen, and that's why I'm making this video, because both of the spots where YouTube is on there, it showed 11 on the same page, because apparently I'd been on YouTube recently. And that just showed me that I needed to make a video and share it on YouTube for everyone. Be thankful, be grateful, and you will be blessed. I love you. Namaste. MJ. All my links are below. If you want a personal tarot reading, I would be absolutely... I would love to do one for you. It's my favorite thing in the world to do, connecting with you guys and helping you individually. Thanks again. So much love.